Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the English News Edition, brought to you live from RTD channel. The headlines for tonight are: the head of state convenes this afternoon an important meeting devoted to the development of the country. And on the international scene concerning Brazil, Lula in the countryside despite his condemnation. Let's go to the details now. The head of state, Ismail Magile, led today, Monday, in the afternoon at the presidential palace the work of an important meeting dedicated to the accentuation of effort to the development of our country. The ultimate goal of this meeting, attended by ministers and public as well private leaders in charge of our main development sectors, was not only to identify obstacles and difficulties encountered in our legitimate pursuit of sustainable development. The ultimate goal was, above all, for the leaders together to assign them to a more rigorous work ethic and a culture of results in their respective missions. The high-level working of the audience, led today by the head of state, is part of the regular as well periodic meeting with the national administration to discuss a reform and endorse the reform necessary for economic takeoff and social of our country. In addition to the Minister of Economy as well Finances, the Minister of Budget, Bodi Ahmed Roble, the Minister Delegate for Trade, Hassan Hamad Ibrahim, the Minister of Equipment and Transport, Mohamed Abdul Qadir Moussa, the Minister of Employment, Head of Administration Reform, Hassan Idris Samriye, Minister of Justice as well Penitentiary Affairs in charge of Human Resources, Min Hassan Sheikh, took part in this working meeting. Also note the presence at this meeting of the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamel Mohammed. The head of state spoke at this meeting, said it is a must for each and one of you to be part of what you have been assigned to. More details with the speech of the president.
Pourquoi je vous ai tous convoqués? Pourquoi pas seulement les ministres et les autres? Pourquoi? Parce que une seule raison est là, le développement.
The head of state who spoke during the meeting said, "I demand that you now place a strong and permanent commitment at the center of your action, and there should be a common commitment and willingness for uplifting and resolving the development challenges." He said, speaking to the different ministers. The president, speaking, has urged and said you have to revitalize the cooperation between ministerial departments for the sake of the country. You should also catalyze the genuine change the country is undergoing. I urge each and one of you to lead what you have been told and assigned to. If the program should only be on papers, then we cannot drag this country from misery. I also want to see greater cohesion, coherence, greater coordination between our various public and private departments in charge of our development.
The same day, the head of state, Ismail Magile, received today, late Monday morning, at the presidential palace, all members of the Peace and Security Council of the African Union, led by Ismail Shogei, the head of these institutions. This visit of the members of the Peace as well Security Council of the African Union to President Gile is part of a working state that his diplomats perform in our country, choosing to host the meeting of initiation and popularization of procedure of this institution, which has just undergone a profound renewal. Composing a total of about 30 members, the Peace and Security Council was indeed reworked last January, where 22 new members have made their entry. The Republic of Djibouti will sit on the new 3-year terms of this body as it incorporates the 3-member regional quota granted to East Africa. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mohamed Ali Yusuf, as well the ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti, as well permanent representative of our country to the African Union, Mohamed Idris Farah, took part in the hearing between the head of state and members of the Peace and Security Council of the African Union. The head of the delegation and head of this institution, Ismail Shagay, has in an interview spoke on the purpose of his working visit to Djibouti, accompanied by members of the Peace as well Security Council of the African Union. They are composed, he said, in total of about 30 members. He said that Djibouti is one of the key country members of the Peace as well Security Council of the African Union. We praise, he said, the contribution of Djibouti in the peacekeeping mission in Somalia. He then recalled that Djibouti will sit on the new 3-year term of this body as it incorporates the 3-member regional quota granted to East Africa. The head of state, Ismail Omar received today, also Monday, late morning at the Presidential Palace, a delegation of the Panel of Excellence of the African Peer Review Mechanism known as APRM, and traveled to Djibouti to take part in the official integration of the Djibouti, the National Action Plan into the Accelerate Growth and Improvement Promotion Strategy. This audience served as a forum for exchange for greater collaboration between our country and this body dedicated to the promotion of good governance in Africa. This delegation is led by Mrs. Fatouhi, who took part in the discussion with the head of state. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mohamed Ali Yusuf, took part in this meeting. And after the encounter, we gather a reaction of the MAEP representative. The APRM representative has come to the conclusion that the Republic of Djibouti was fitting to the APRM mechanism and heading toward development, in other words, in its Escape 2035 vision. And under the high patronage of the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamel Mohammed, the ceremony of official launch of the Djibouti Evaluation Report on the African Peer Mechanism was held this morning at the Presidential Palace. This report is the 8th text presented at this ceremony, of which the Ministry of Foreign Affairs International Cooperation is the focal point, is organized in collaboration with the national structure and the Continental Secretariat of the APRM. Participants discussed the highlights from the National Auto-Evaluation Report. They also welcomed the political as well institutional stability of Djibouti. The objective of the APRM is not only to identify gaps but also to promote good practices and to consolidate the asset of the country, and through the sharing of experience between the member states. The head of state, Ismail Omar complied with the exercise and made in January 2017 in Addis Ababa a presentation of the situation in Djibouti and evolution recorded before his peers. From this intervention emerged a very good appraisal of efforts to improve governance as well as support development. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mohamed Ali Yusuf, expressed his satisfaction to take part at the official launch of the Djibouti Evaluation Report on the African Peer Mechanism known as APRM, which was held this morning at the People's Palace. The Minister welcomed the finalization of this report and the work done. He recalled the objective of the APRM mechanism. He said that the APRM is not only to identify gaps but also to promote good practices as well consolidate assets of the country and through the sharing of experience between the member states. He praised also the excellent relation and cooperation that exists between the APRM and member states. And in turn, Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamel Mohammed put the focus on the statement that Djibouti is continuing its effort to establish good governance in the country, which is essential for ensuring progress as well as economic development. Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamel Mohammed did not miss to welcome the political as well institutional stability of Djibouti. He stressed on the purpose of this gathering. This meeting, he says, is to harmonize and integrate the National Action Plan to the Accelerate Growth Strategy and to the promotion of jobs scape of our country. Let's remember that the APRM is a unique tool in the world and an initiative established by Africa for its fellow citizens, as finally pointed out Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamel Mohammed. And now let's take a listen of one of the participants that took part at this gathering.
The main objective of today's meeting was to allow the launching of the national report. The national report is a report which assesses Djibouti political governance, economic governance, corporate governance and socio-economic development. This report is the main output from a process which started since 2009. This report, which is an output of a process which took place, started since 2009 and which has been finalized in August 2015. As you know, the President of Djibouti has been reviewed by its peers, it's been by other heads of state in January 2017. In this report, is a result from a self-assessment coming from the country and a review of African experts led by African Continental Secretariat of APRM and the panel of eminent persons. That report is combined the assessment of the two groups. On top of it, in this report is an annex which the Republic of Djibouti responded to some of the requirements or questions that they asked.
At the National Assembly now, the National Assembly has held the first regular sitting of the Parliament, was chaired by the President of the National Assembly, Mohammed Ali Ahmed, considering the participation of the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamel Mohammed, members of the government as well, MPs of the Parliament. The agenda of this first ordinary meeting was the constitution of the Commission, as well as the formation of the High Constitution composed of 6 standing committees as well, 2 special commissions. At the end of this event, the parliamentary members of Justice elected the President of the High Court, Ali Abdi Farah, and the Vice President, Ugure Kifli, and the Secretary, Ileya Ismail Gedi Hared. Members swore to fulfill their duties and keep the secrecy of voting and to conduct the interests of the state as well the national sovereignty. And after the election of the National Assembly, President as well members of the Bureau held last weekend, its 8th year's legislature proceeded today in accordance with the provision of Article 22, paragraph 1 and 2 to internal organization of the National Assembly. Indeed, the first public session of the first ordinary session of Parliament was held under the chairmanship of Mohammed Ali Ahmed. It was inscribed on the agenda of this meeting the constitution of the High Court of Justice, the formation of the various standing committees as well as the specialized committee of the Parliament. In accordance with Article 4 of the Rules of Procedure of the National Assembly, the MPs proceeded after consultation to the appointment of the members of the High Court of Justice. The later then deliberate and the swearing took place under the condition provided by Article 5 of the Organic Law number 6. The following parliamentarians have been appointing chairman, vice chairman and reporting secretary of the following committee: for the Finance, General Economic as well Plan Commission, Sharmake Musarri, President; Mohammed Ahmed, Vice President; Umma Mohammed Hamid, General Reporter; Ubah Abdullahi Ilmi, Recording Secretary. Concerning the Committee on Legislation and General Administration, Kaltoum Farah Said, President; Abdullah Barkhad Ibrahim, Vice President; Abdi Isi Boulale, Reporting Secretary. Concerning the Commission for National Defense and Security, Ali Ahmed Hassan, President; Nouria Wabri Ufani, Vice President; Mohammed Adan Jama, Reporter. Concerning the Committee on Production as well Trade, Ileya Ismail Gedi, President; Ahmed Hassan Mohammed, Vice President; Fatuma Mohammed Hamadou, Reporter. Concerning the Commission for Social Development and Protection of the Environment, Ahmed Robli Abdullahi, President; Shukri Ali Ainan, Vice President; Hallo Mohammed Ibrahim, Reporter. Concerning the Foreign Affairs Commission, Abdurrahman Awali Yassin, President; Mohammed Ismail Yusuf, Vice President; Hadi Ahmed Dabarkili, Reporter. Concerning the Special Commission Account Clearance, Umar Adan Saeed, President; Mahmoud Hassan Farah, Vice President; Hallo Ibrahim Mohammed, Reporter. The Special Committee on Parliamentary Immunities, Ali Mohammed Dawood, President; Sulaiman Dahir Bili, Vice President; Kaltoum Farah Saeed, Reporter. And finally, concerning High Court of Justice, Ali Abdi Farah, President; Ugure Kifli Hamad, Vice President, as well Ileya Ismail Gedi, Reporter. Still with the national news, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International and the African Peace and Security Council jointly organized a two-day introductory session. The opening session was enhanced by the presence of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of Djibouti, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf. The opening ceremony was also marked by the speeches of the President of the Peace as well as Security Council for the month of March 28, 2018, Ambassador Zakariou Meiga of the Republic of Niger, and from the Commissioner for Peace as well as Security, Ambassador Ismail Shaghi. The members of the African Council for Peace as well as Security on the continent began this morning a workshop to sensitize member states of the African Union on the mission and role of this institution. The members of the African Council for the Promotion of Peace and Security have explained to represent several ministerial departments what is the role of this body. In the course of this sensitization workshop, several themes was raised, including the safeguarding of human rights, the intervention for the cessation of hostilities, as well as support of displaced persons and refugees for humanitarian reasons. The role of the African force on alert or interposition will also raised. The members of this delegation of the African Peace and Security Council will pay a courtesy visit to several senior officials of the country. The work of this workshop will continue till tomorrow or before closing, and let's recall that Djibouti was elected to the AU Peace as well as Security Council for a 2-year term at the 22nd Ordinary Session of the Executive Council of the African Union. The Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Djibouti to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, DID in Bamakrama, was received on Sunday, March 27 by Ahmed Ubaid bin Dagar, Prime Minister of the Yemeni government. The encounter held in Riyadh in the presence of the spokesperson of the Yemeni government and the director of the cabinet of the First Minister allowed the two men to congratulate themselves on the excellence of the existing bilateral relation between the two sister countries and to address regional issues of common interest. The Yemeni Prime Minister expressed his gratitude and thanks the President of the Republic of Yemen, Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi, and the government and people of Yemen for His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic of Djibouti, who greatly helped the Yemeni people and the wise policy of the Djiboutian government in our region. He reaffirmed that Djibouti is the closest country to Yemen culturally as well as humanitarian historical relation that bind the two brotherly countries. And now let's get into the international news. At 7 months of the presidential election, the former Brazilian president does not resign despite his conviction on appeal to 12 years in prison for corruption. Lula da Silva went back to campaign galvanized by promising polls. At 22 years old, the leader of the left Latin American party repeats to anyone who wants to hear that no decision will stop him, but the return of Lula continues to stir up resentment. The Egyptians are called to the polls from today 26 to 28 March for the first round of the presidential election, with the two candidates in competition, including the outgoing President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. In front of him, a figure, Mustafa Musa, the unrecognized leader of the Central Liberal of Agad party, ran for first 15 minutes before the closing of the candidacy on January 29, after leaving campaign for his new opponent. For the first time in the country's history, Egyptian voters will be able to nominate their head of state for the next 4 years. So that's it for the news. Thanks for your attention.